Let us know which theme you guys like. This one or the new one that we're using. Or should we just change it all together and start doing some Punjabi stuff?
Yeah.
Not
We might
sure.
get copyrighted though.
Yeah, I know, right? Please, yeah, man. Yeah, those Punjabi music labels, they shuts down stuff
Everything?
right real quick,
Okay.
or just hit you with strikes and your YouTube channel just gets taken down or demonetized or something happens.
Yeah.
Whatever. So to all our millions of fans out there, let us know. Do you guys like the new one or do you guys like the old one? Let us know. Been a while since we've done an episode.
It has a lot.
Yeah.
We always say this. A lot has happened. Every sport is now like full swing.
Yeah. And as you
Right,
can
so-
see, it's just me and Jag today. But
Yep.
we got Champ's replacement right here. The Fisco mascot from Sunset Overdrive. Kind of looks like Champ.
Fits right in.
Yeah, fits right in. It's like he's here.
Yeah.
It's like we're not missing him at all. But yeah, the 9 to 5 got Champ. He's in the Matrix. He can't get out.
We're all kind of
Tay
stuck.
would
Yeah.
say, yeah. But the weather got him too, apparently, right? You were saying that he wasn't doing
Yeah.
too hot.
It's probably my fault because I got sick and then I was over at his place for a couple of days, so he probably got it from me.
Man, the weather's getting everybody.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning? Yesterday morning, walked out, and when I saw that first frost on the car,
Mm-hmm.
bummed me out.
You know what's funny? So, like, I'm underground, right? So underground parking. So in the morning, I don't feel anything. So I feel nice. And then the minute I get to work, it's like you get out and you feel like the cold wind or like the cold
Yeah,
air, and
yeah.
you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it being like a little chilly,
Mm-hmm.
but when I had to pick up that scraper
Yeah,
and scrape the windows on the car,
that's
I'm
the
like,
worst feeling.
I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. There's no turning back there now. Like, summer's done.
Mm-hmm.
Those, like,
Yep.
was it last week we had the couple of days where we had the 20, 22, 23,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
That
like
was
the
it, man.
midday.
Yeah, that was it. It's a wrap. Summer's done. Winter's just around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Winter is coming.
I feel like it's gonna hit earlier than usual.
Yeah, I don't mind look, when it comes to winter, I'm more of the I'll deal with the snow, not the cold.
See, I used to be like that, but now that I'm always on the road, like, you know, going back and forth, like between work, I don't like driving in snow. I'd rather deal with the cold wind. Especially if you're in a car, you know, just turn that heat on.
Yeah, but even if
But,
it's like minus 42 and you're sitting in the car waiting for it to warm up, that sucks.
Yeah. But that's why everyone has to start taking, if you have a garage, I'm underground, right? I don't have a garage, but I have underground parking where we live. But if you have a garage, if you own a house, use your garage. I know everyone uses it for storage, but
yeah.
it's like, use the garage. It'll save you so much time, and it's easier to do the snow. I'd rather do a line of snow with no vehicle in the way. Like, getting around your car and clearing it all out
Yeah.
is much harder than just if you have a full driveway full of snow, cars inside, and then it's easier just doing it in lines.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, man. Like, everyone, I feel like anybody I talk to, it's kind of split 50-50.
Mhm.
Like, there's people that say, I don't know, I just hate the cold. People are like, I don't want
Yeah.
snow, I'll deal with minus 40.
Now,
Right.
if I'm working from home, like whether it's rain, it feels nice. Like, you know, nice rainy day, you're working from home. Or if it's snowing a lot, like, you know, it's nice scenery, right? But
Yeah.
if you're actually out there in it, it's not enjoyable because
Yeah.
it just makes things, traffic is slow enough. It just slows everything down.
Yeah, and the shoveling of the snow is not a ideal thing that most people want to do. But if you're
Yeah.
if you're shoveling the snow and there's not a minus 25 wind in your face,
Yeah, then it's not too bad.
then it's not too bad. Then it's
Yeah.
whatever, right? But if you're out there shoveling snow and it's minus 30 and the wind is in your face
Oh,
and you
man.
can't feel your fingers
And then
anymore,
everything you're shoveling is like coming back at
it's all
you.
coming back. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm really bumming myself out just thinking about it. And we're only in November. It's November 2nd.
That's life in Canada.
Yeah, that is life in Canada. And yeah, we're talking about this, but we're going golfing on Sunday.
Yeah, last round
Yeah.
of the season.
I'm already prepared for them to say, hey guys, man, frost warning, it's going to be a delay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Speaking of golf, we were out at Frequencies tournament I think what was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was memorable.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
We have the highlights for that up on our Instagram if
Yeah,
you guys want to check it out. Yeah, but I mean, it was fun. It wasn't. The weather sucked though.
Yeah. Yeah. But it could have been much worse. What was forecasted and what we got, I'm happy.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. We really dodged one though, but the first like 9-10 holes though,
Yeah.
it wasn't
they
very
were-
pleasurable. It wasn't. It
Yeah.
At near the end it got cleared up, but by that it was already wrap.
Mhm.
Cares.
Yep.
But whatever, man. Granite Ridge, great course. If you guys are in Southern Ontario, play Granite Ridge. Really nice course.
Yeah, it was my first time playing there, and I will definitely. That's one of the first courses I want to play next year.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Yeah, peak summer, it's even nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Great course. But let's just get right into it, man. It's been a while since we've done like a proper episode. And it's just something about every time we sit down to have a talk, one company in particular just always ends up in the news
Yeah.
the day before or the day of, and every time we think we're done talking about these guys, they're back.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what's going on, Marvel's back in the news, man. And this time it's bad. Variety, that big time Hollywood publication, magazine, whatever you want to call them, they put out an article yesterday basically titled Marvel in Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking to people who are close to the studio, people who are part of projects and everything that's going on with MCU. And they dropped some bombs in regards to what's happening with Marvel right now.
With the movie, shows,
Just everything
everything?
top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of points, but I'm going to go through I'm going to say like 4 or 5 of the big ones, but there was like 13, 14 things they talked about.
Is it things that are currently happening or just like...
It's stuff that's happening, about to happen, and stuff that's already happened. So they basically just
Like a basic
Yeah,
full rundown.
they bulldozed like
Okay.
the last 3 years of
Mhm.
Marvel.
All right.
So the big part, the big talking point apparently right now. So sorry, just to give context. So every year Marvel and their execs and stuff, they have this retreat that they do where they just kind of sit down, talk about what's about to happen, what's happening, and what they're going to do moving forward. In years past, it's been happy-go-lucky. They've just been printing money. They're like, everything's great. You know, they're lighting cigars with $100 bills. Like, it's fine.
Yep.
Right? Not so much now. The mood is very sour
Mm-hmm.
around Marvel right now. And one of the big things that the article talks about is everything with what's happening with Jonathan Majors, the guy who is playing Kang.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going on trial at the end of the month, right? For that whole thing that he's going through right now.
Yep.
And that is really putting everybody in panic mode because now you've built your next phase around this character being like your Thanos for this new phase.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to move forward with this. So, right? Like, are they going to have to recast the guy or are they just scrapping Kang?
Okay, so basically their current projects that he's in, they're like, if we release these, it's going to affect the bottom line.
It's that, but I also think it might be, you know, you go ahead with him, but the trial keeps coming in the way,
Mhm.
right? So you have like big movie premiere featuring this guy, but oh, by the way, he's going back to trial.
Okay. Even
Ye-
production, things in production.
I think from like a PR standpoint, they're kind of like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things, another point that came out of the article built on top of this was like they were thinking just to scrap Kang
Mm-hmm.
and go Doctor Doom.
Okay. But then, see, that's the thing. Like in Loki, they established him, and then
That's
it
the whole
kind of
thing.
became a big thing.
In Loki and in Ant-Man,
Mm-hmm.
like even in Ant-Man, like he was like the secondary villain in that movie anyway, but you're still establishing him as
He's the next guy.
that's the problem. My thing with how they've handled Kang is like I think they've really fumbled it.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Thanos, we only saw him on screen for maybe like a total of 3 minutes up until Infinity War.
Yep.
Right? And then, but it established like this guy's the problem. You know, this is going to be
Mhm.
the one that everything has to revolve around, and this is the guy that they're going to have to deal with. But with Kang, it's like we've seen him so much already,
Yeah.
especially with Loki. And if you guys haven't seen season 1 of Loki, like, spoiler, but this is on you. But like, you introduce him and you kill him right away.
Yeah.
But then you establish like the variants or whatever. Have you watched season 2?
I haven't got into season 2 yet.
Okay, so I won't talk about season 2, but it's kind of more of that,
Mhm.
right? And then Ant-Man, he kind of looked like a goofball, sort of. I mean, to me, I could be like, whatever you think about it, but in Ant-Man, I thought he came off as a complete goofball.
I think the whole Marvel thing has just, I've gotten more and more away from it because a lot of their projects, everything that comes out, it just doesn't get me excited anymore. And Loki was the last thing that I really enjoyed, season 1, and then it took so long for season 2 to come out. Now it's just like I'm waiting to watch it. It's just, my priorities just hasn't been there because I feel like it lost that, what lured me in. It lost kind of the magic,
Yeah. Okay, so we're back. Little technical difficulties there. This is supposed to make our life easy, but apparently not. Thanks a lot, tech. But anyway, I think we got caught off where we were talking about Kang and how they want to replace him with Doctor Doom. Bad idea. I don't think that makes any sense. It makes everything before it irrelevant.
Yeah, but
Means nothing.
see, like for me, I'd rather they go that route just because I'm not interested in Kang, but that's because I haven't seen all the most recent films, and I guess if I watch them and they established him good?
They haven't done what they did with Thanos.
I think in this case you just listen to fan feedback. If the character has failed and no one cares, move on.
Yeah. Or just recast and just keep it going. Whatever.
Yeah, that works too.
They should bring in who was Buddy that played Spawn? What's his name again?
I don't know.
Oh, J. Michael, whatever his name is, the guy who played Spawn back in the day.
Think he's too old or?
Nah. If you see him on Instagram, this guy's still kicking ass.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Then I'm all for it.
All right. So just 2 big points that we want to talk about before we got cut off there. But so with Blade's having some production issues. They keep changing writers, and somebody who was close to the film, and I quote, Blade was set to be a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons where Blade was a 4th lead character. That is stupid.
I don't understand that. Like,
imagine
how?
Sorry, go on.
No, like, as a director or as a producer, like, how do people come up with these ideas? It's like a character, like, especially for all these Marvel movies, a character's already written, right? Like, it's either they're established, like in the comics, right?
Yeah.
So why do we have to go out of the way to like change all these things and fit certain narratives?
Yeah. Have you seen the last South Park episode?
I have not.
Okay. So it's called Into the Panderverse. Okay?
Mhm.
Where they basically were making fun of this exact thing.
Okay,
right?
I definitely gotta check that
So
out.
they did like a multiverse thing in South Park, and all the guys became like women of minority. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I think they weren't really going after Marvel, but they were going more after Kathleen Kennedy, the Star Wars one. But the point was there.
Yeah.
Right? If you guys have not seen this South Park episode, watch it. The way that South Park comments on like social issues is brilliant. Nobody does it better than these guys.
Yep.
And the way they did this Into the Panderverse thing, amazing. I was in tears.
I will definitely check it out.
There's one catchphrase that they established in this episode. I'm not gonna say it, but it's about to take over the internet in about 2 days.
All right.
It's great.
So I gotta get on it quick.
Yeah, watch that one. South Park, we love you guys, man. All right, last big point before we move on. This is the one that really shows that they're getting desperate. They want to bring back the original Avengers. So RDJ Iron Man and Scarlet Black Widow.
Yep.
These guys are dead. They were killed in Endgame. Oh wait, no, Scarlet was killed in Infinity War. RDJ died in Endgame. They're dead. I thought we moved on from this. But now when they're this desperate where they want to bring these guys back, buddy, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, it's
you got nothing to say. Like, it's wild.
It's tough because these are the characters that, like, you got to move on eventually for any character, right? Any show, any comic, any movie. Like, you just can't keep going on forever with the same characters. But I think with how bad the last couple of movies have been, I think they're just like, we've lost a big part of the audience. They lost someone like me, right? Like, I'm not lining up every single time. You know, I'm not anticipating, oh, this is the next movie, I gotta go watch it, right? So they're trying to hook us back in. This movie, if they do bring them back, right, I'll watch the trailer because usually trailers give away half the movie anyways.
Yeah.
So if I feel like they're actually bringing them back, not just a flashback or something, right?
Yeah.
If they're actually bringing them back, I'll watch it just because, you know.
It's not going to be cheap to bring these guys back, though.
Oh, definitely not. But
RDJ is going to be like, I want 200 million. And Scarlett's going to be like, I want 210 million. Because she went to that whole...
Yeah, she did.
The contract thing with them or whatever, right? But just let it be, man. Like, you have zero faith in your process that you feel like you've got nothing moving forward, that this is what you have to do.
I think they're stuck because, just like you said, with the whole Kang thing, they're kind of stuck with that, and they've established him, and now, you know, he's going through his, you know, legal troubles, and you're kind of... I think the audience is probably split. I don't think... Just as a character, I'm not talking about just, you know, John Myers himself.
Yeah.
Just as the character himself, I feel like you don't really gravitate towards and you're not really excited about, right? So
good writing can salvage a character, right? Like, even though I feel like they fumbled him up until this point, you can still make him a credible threat if you write him properly.
I don't think they have any trust in themselves anymore.
That's going back to my point. Like, you have no faith in your own little team here, that you're like, okay, we can't fix this. Just bring everybody back and we'll do another Avengers movie.
Yep.
And it goes back to before we got cut off, like, to your wrestling point.
Yeah,
where
you
it's
try
like,
to...
there's no storylines. Like, all right, let's roll out Stone Cold.
Yep.
Let's have
make him a special guest referee in a match. No one's interested in this match. Let's bring back someone, you know, from the Attitude Era or from any era.
But the way wrestling does it, though, like, they understand why they're doing it. They come in as a cameo. There's a big event, whatever.
Yep.
Very rarely do you see, like, these legacy guys coming back in as part of a storyline that's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless there's a cameo part to it.
Unless you're The Rock and you need that final title run, you know, you got to beat John Cena. And,
yeah. The Rock. They really need to set up Rock versus Roman, don't they?
Yeah.
All right.
That'd be nice.
Rock versus Roman. That needs to be. I think that's going to be the.
And you got to get Rikishi in somehow.
If you're gonna end
that storyline,
if you're gonna end Bloodline, that's how you do it. You know what? We haven't talked wrestling in a while. Let's kind of run with this.
All right.
Do you watch NXT?
No.
Or see anything? Okay, so in NXT a few weeks back, they had one of their quote unquote pay-per-views or whatever, and Paul Heyman was there. And Paul Heyman, you know, he's with the Bloodline, he's with Roman, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. There was a clip on that episode of NXT where he's backstage, he's talking to The Rock's daughter, who's you know, in NXT, and she's doing her thing there. And then he holds up his phone case, and the phone case has Bloodline written on the back of it.
Okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
he's showing her the phone case, and she's kind of like, you see her thinking about something.
Yeah.
So like they're planting the seeds for this Rock versus Roman thing.
Mm-hmm. That's
Right?
actually awesome.
But because eventually it's gonna be like, who's really the tribal chief? Is it Roman, or is it The Rock who started it all? And
Yeah.
remember when Rikishi ran over Austin with the car? I did it for
That'll
The
never
Rock.
get-
Yeah,
yeah.
I did it for The Rock or whatever it was.
That'd be epic.
Yeah, but just I think that's gonna be your end game.
Mhm.
Is the bloodline? Everything ends with Rock versus Roman, and it's established who's gonna be head of the table, whatever. But I think before that, you have to have Cody beat Roman for that.
That's
title.
what I was gonna say. I was gonna say he cannot have the title when they fight.
Yeah, him versus Rock has nothing to do with the title.
Yep.
This is all about the whole bloodline dynasty
Yep.
tribal chief thing. But
Yeah.
Cody beating The Rock, that's the end of Cody's story. It has to be that title. It can't be that fake title that Seth's running around with right now. It has to be that one, the one that Roman has,
Yep. Yep.
right? And everybody's so invested in Cody's storyline too,
Mm-hmm.
because they want to see it through.
Yeah. Because now they set it up for so long, and it's just like you're waiting for that payoff.
Yeah, like him losing the first time at
Mhm.
Mania, I was okay with it.
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? You're not dragging it out, but you're drawing the parallels now, his story and his dad's story, because
Yep.
Dusty was going through the same thing. He's got to do the same thing, but the difference is he has to get that title at the end,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And when that happens, man, that pop is gonna be.
But where do they do it? Like, do they do it like a Royal Rumble type thing? Do they go all the way to WrestleMania?
You have to do it at Mania. You have to
Okay.
do it at Mania because you have enough with the bloodline where you don't have to worry about Roman not having the title, because then you can build towards next Mania with The Rock.
But I feel like it's too obvious if they. I want kind of like a surprise thing, like when he wins it to be like a. I don't think we get that oh my god anymore, because you get to the point where it's just like, okay, he's
Oh.
lost. This guy's been champion
Yeah.
for X amount of time. Okay, now he's gotta lose, right? So it's kind of you're waiting for it. I like it more as, it's a pay-per-view. Everyone's viewing, like, tuning in. Make it big. Maybe even before WrestleMania, right? Like right before, like, how they used to have Elimination Chamber or something.
Yeah, but that big of a moment, are you really gonna
But that's why
do it at a
you
throwaway show like that?
no,
though?
but that's why you stack it up.
Mm,
Like stack it up. Make sure like there's guest appearances. Like make big matches. Make it like a mini WrestleMania before the main WrestleMania.
like if you want to do that, then you can just do it at Rumble, because
That's
Rumble's
what I
the-
was.
the
That's what I
second
was
biggest
thinking.
show, right?
Yeah,
But I think with how they handled it last year not last year, but this year with him losing at Mania,
hmm
now you put it into people's mind that he could lose again at Mania because they've already done it once,
yeah,
right?
but
So
it's-
you're watching that match, you're like, I know he's gonna win, but is he though?
yeah,
Right? Because they've already done it once. What's to say that they won't do it again?
yeah. I guess I hope, because I just don't like the whole. You have that feeling like with Roman. I guess people have felt it for a long time. He's been champion for so long that every single time he goes out there, you could be like, okay, maybe this is the moment, depending on who the opponent is, right?
Yeah.
But at least you have that feeling of like, okay, this might be the moment, right? That everything crumbles
Yeah.
down.
But throughout this entire run that Roman's had, there's been like 3 or 4 times where the guy that he's fighting, he has all the momentum, and you thought this is where he's losing it. Because remember
Yeah.
when he had the match with Drew at Clash of the Castle?
Mhm. But
Dude, halfway through that match, I convinced myself that Drew was winning.
okay, yeah, no, see, but that's the
Right?
feeling
Yeah.
you want, right? You want to be able to be like, oh my god, this might happen.
Yeah.
Right? Just like with The Undertaker, I'll give an example. The streak, until the streak became a big thing, Like even when he is 11 in a row, 12 in a row, 13, like it wasn't a big thing.
Yeah.
It was more of whatever the match is the match,
Yeah.
right? And you always went into it like he might lose. But then when they started mentioning the streak so much, I'm like, he can't lose now.
Yeah.
They gotta keep this going.
Yeah.
Right? So I just hope there's always that, you know, like that magic. I don't want them to lose the magic for that Cody Rhodes, like the payoff. I don't want it to become like, oh, like, you know, he deserves it, give it to him, like a fight kind of thing. You know how it was with the Daniel Bryan thing? Like, just give it to him, right? And
Well,
then it kind of ruins it a little bit.
I think with the Daniel Bryan thing though, that was literally the fans forcing them into a change.
That was, yes.
Right? Because it's always been the same thing over and over again where, you know, I mean, I love Batista. This was not his fault, right? But the poor guy was put in a really tough spot where he came back, won
Yep.
the Rumble. People hated it.
Yep.
Right? Because Daniel Bryan was their guy.
Yep.
Right? And then the whole yes movement started, right? And credit to Batista, right? He could have easily said, nah, like, I came back to win a title. I want to win a title, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they saw where this was going with Daniel Bryan and they had to do it and they did it perfectly,
Yep.
right?
They did handle it once it
handled-
got to that point.
Yeah, they could have easily said, nah, screw this guy. We're just going to squash him. He can be on the pre-show. We're moving forward with Orton versus Batista, whatever it was that year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Was it?
Orton versus, because Orton was champ,
Okay.
right? And then they were doing the whole, what was it, like the corporation versus Daniel Bryan thing, or
Mhm.
they saw the Authority. They were called the Authority then against Daniel Bryan because like you're not the guy, this is the guy.
Yeah. No,
Right.
they did switch things up really nicely. I just hope, you know, that the magic is still there for Cody, like when they do it. And, you know, the hardcore fans, like, they're waiting to pop.
Yeah,
They have all that, you know,
I'm
bundled up inside them.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I honestly thought that this Cody thing was gonna get stale real quick,
Mm-hmm.
but it hasn't.
Yeah.
It's where it is at where it started, like when he came back at Mania
Mm-hmm.
and he had that match with Seth and he was back. It was up here and it's still here.
It's still there? Okay.
Yeah, because when this guy comes out, people go crazy.
Yeah.
But now they're in a tough spot because now you've got him that people love, and LA Knight is taking over the world.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's actually a
Yeah.
good thing. You want
You
the more you
want
have,
that, yeah.
the better it is.
Because like you've got Cody, you've got LA Knight, like Sami Zayn still getting like mega pops. Kevin Owens is still getting mega pops.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have that problem.
Yep.
Where before it's like you didn't have a lot of guys that people cared about too much, and that's why you had to bring all the older dudes back in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is unfortunately what's happening with AEW right now, man. They're in the mud. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To everybody out there who's telling me otherwise, it's not looking good for AEW. Because when your main programs are Edge and Christian, not that I got anything wrong. I love Edge and Christian,
Mm-hmm.
right? But do I really need to see it again,
Yeah.
right? And now they just signed Ric Flair to a 4-year deal.
Ric Flair, really?
They got Flair on a 4-year deal, and apparently he's got an energy drink that's
Okay.
sponsoring AEW now. I mean maybe
That's-
it could be that's the deal and not Flair himself. I don't know. I haven't read all the details yet, but I saw something pop up on Twitter. Sorry, X. That Flair. He's like, yeah. Now that I'm here, you know, I'd really like to have a match with MJF. I'm like,
Oh
oh, here
my
we
God.
go. This he's already had like 17 retirement matches.
No,
And then
yeah, and
we-
they got rid of CM Punk now, right? So
Yeah, that CM Punk thing is wild, man. And then like all the reports of him coming back at Survivor Series Survivor Series this month.
mm-hmm.
But that I don't think that's happening. I think that got squashed.
Okay,
So I don't think Punk's coming back. But then again, this is wrestling.
you never know.
You never know, anything could happen. Hey, Punk shows up at Survivor Series, I'm popping. Right?
Where would he show up though?
Because it's happening in Chicago.
Yeah, no, I'm like, at what point should he?
Oh, at what
would he?
point? Well, so this past Monday, Shinsuke had like this kind of like an open challenge thing kind of happen.
Okay, so if he does it, like,
Right?
yeah.
Which would be cool.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Or he could just show up.
Just
doesn't have to do anything. Like
just talk on the mic or just
music hits, place goes crazy because it's Chicago, it's his hometown. Gets in the ring, hey man, I'm back. Screw everybody, whatever. I hate you guys. You know, I'm coming after whoever.
Yeah, that would work too.
Right? Or just put him right into a program with Seth. I'd love to see that because they legitimately hate each other.
Yeah, I heard. I heard a lot of wrestlers have a problem with CM Punk.
Yeah, he seems to be the common denominator with a lot of things that happen backstage, especially like with AEW. The first time around when they had the scrap with the Elite, like him, Kenny, Young Bucks, they all got into a fight. And then this past one where they had that big show in England, he got into like a scrap with Jungle Boy.
See, that's the thing with the whole. I remember with the whole John Cena CM Punk feud and the whole, you know, with the titles, and it was so real. Like, it was so authentic. Like, you could see CM Punk really hated a lot of things. And everyone gravitated towards that because WWE was in that position of like, we're pushing this guy, right? And then the more you look into it, you listen to all these podcasts, all these other wrestlers, and it's just like people that aren't even directly involved, and you hear them talk bad about him. Then I kind of started feeling like, okay, you know what? Maybe everything he was saying is not just, you know, like that's might be how he's feeling, but I'm just like, that's not how the whole situation went down, you know?
Yeah, and that Punk thing with Cena, the Money in the Bank, he legit did not have a contract renewal up until Showtime. He didn't put pen to paper until like half an hour before their match.
That's crazy.
So like up until that point, they didn't know if this guy's even gonna be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. So that, I mean, that story's crazy. And man, I remember that Money in the Bank like it was yesterday. You just never know. And then
no, that was a fun one. Yeah, that was a fun one.
And they tried to pull the whole Bunchell screw job again with like Vince coming out. People, you need to go on YouTube and watch CM Punk's entrance at Money in the Bank, man. That is one of the wildest crowds you're ever gonna hear.
That whole feud was nice.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Cena's the GOAT.
It's
come on, man.
Yeah,
this guy's the GOAT.
It's hard to say he's not now because it's, you know how it's that situation for me where it's like when you're gone you really notice it. Like as he was leaving, as he's going out the door, then you kind of realize like, oh my god, like he really was carrying WWE on his back for so long. Yeah,
like just go back and look at his body of work. Was there anything that he did where you didn't care?
No, it's like, everything is like you're invested in everything. He brought that energy, and there really was nobody that could take that spot while he was in it. Yeah,
like I understand like his feuds with like Orton and Edge went on for a long time, but I was watching every minute of it though.
But that's the thing, right? Edge and Randy Orton are two other people that is just like, they're so good at what they do and performing. It's like, who can really come up and take their spot?
Yeah.
Right? So you want, if you're a producer or like anybody at WWE, you want there to be more guys, more competition, right? That's going to bring in more fans. It's going to be more exciting, and you can do a lot of different things. Yes. Right? If you have 5 guys that are potential champions, you can, have people going, have little feuds on the side. It doesn't have to be for a title, but it'll feel like a title match.
Yeah.
Right? So
it kind of goes back to near the end of Attitude Era, beginning of like Ruthless Aggression Era, where even stuff that was happening in the mid card, there were stakes, but they weren't like championship stakes, but there was something that was happening, right? So you cared from top to bottom what was going on.
Exactly.
You see it kind of happening again now, where like there's a lot of things that are happening where it's like there's no title involved. You just want to see this thing through.
Exactly.
Right? Which is
like you want a good story.
Yeah.
Right? To tune into. Like, why do these guys hate each other, or what's happening?
Story is huge. Like the whole Sami Zayn bloodline thing. There was no title involved in that. And that was probably one of the greatest storylines they've ever done.
Yeah.
right? And then that moment where he hit Roman with that chair at Royal Rumble and that stadium went nuts, zero title involved, but the story you wanted to see it through,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And WWE, for a bunch of years, they were really starting to slack, but now that Vince is finally out of the way and
Mhm.
Triple H is taking over, you see that coming back.
Yeah.
And they needed that bad. And I'm sorry, AEW fans, but they need storyline help, man, because they've got nothing going on outside of like MJF, Edge, Christian. There's nothing.
I haven't watched AEW in a long, long time. I tuned in here and there throughout the last year, and I feel like it's just finisher after finisher, and it's just like, you know, they want to get pop, and they're trying to do too much, right, in matches.
It's an indie show in an arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of the best way that I can describe it. It's an indie show in an arena. Well, okay, outside of Cena, we're kind of putting him down as the undisputed GOAT right now.
Yep.
Not counting Cena, who in your opinion is probably the GOAT? If Cena wasn't in the picture, as like, let's say.
I would have to say, not just in the ring, just as a presence and representing them, I would have to say Undertaker.
Okay. Undertaker, eh?
Because he was that locker room leader. He kept guys in line. He was great in the ring. It's just it's not just what he represented. It's everything that he represented.
So you're talking specifically WWE.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking specific WWE.
Okay.
But you're talking just.
I was gonna say like in general, like we're talking WCW, Impact, like just wrestling in general. Who would be the goal? I honestly think Jericho. The way that this guy has changed his character all the time, but it stays fresh. You'd never get bored of it.
That's true, and he's been everywhere.
And every time he changes, it's never something similar to something that he's already done. It's always something different.
That is a good one.
This guy, he made a pen and a clipboard the hottest thing on TV.
I was so invested in every segment he did with that clipboard.
Yeah, when you waited for him to say you just made the list and he starts clicking that pen, come on.
I loved it.
And it's like obnoxious things that he makes cool when he had that light up jacket and stuff when he came up, man.
And then when he was world heavyweight champion in a suit coming out
in a suit, he became serious.
Yeah.
And then there was another time he came back where he just didn't talk for like a month. Right?
Yeah.
He didn't say nothing. Like he just got in the ring, held the microphone, dropped it, and walked away.
Yeah.
Like the way that he's won everything. He's won everywhere he's gone. The way he reinvents himself. And the guy, I mean, he's got a rock band, right?
I agree. I agree. He's the GOAT.
Jericho is awesome. And this guy's been doing it since, like, I started watching Jericho in 94?
That's insane.
95? That's a long time, man. Like, even going back to WCW, when he had the beef with Dean Malenko, right? Where Dean Malenko was known as the man of 1,001 holes.
Yeah.
Right? Jericho standing in the ring with this big stack of paper. And he was going through all the moves that he knows, right? Yeah. And then he's talking about all these holds, and it's just like armbar, right? They go to commercial. They come back. He's still in the ring with the paper, reading all the moves that he knows.
Wow.
And then you just see him saying again, armbar, right? This guy, man. Jericho, you're the man. Y2J.
Yeah. First ever undisputed champ.
And then his first ever episode on Raw. You're going one-on-one with The Rock on the mic?
Beat The Rock and Stone Cold on the same night.
Who
can say that, right? Only Jericho.
Man, and you got a pen and paper over. The list of Jericho was one of the greatest things this guy's ever done.
It was hilarious.
You just made the list. It's so good.
And shout out to everyone that made epic reactions to making that list.
Oh yeah. You didn't want to be on that list.
Yeah.
But man, when they ended that though with him and Kevin Owens at the Festival of Friendship?
Yeah.
When Kevin Owens gave him the clipboard and it had the list of KO.
Yeah, yeah,
And then Jericho's like, "Oh, why is only my name on this list?" My heart broke
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that moment. I'm like, "This is not gonna be good," and he just gets obliterated.
it was.
That was heartbreaking.
It was.
Jericho, man, you're the best. Speaking of goats, our guy LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still doing what he does for
Yeah.
20 years now.
So NBA kicked off a few days ago. Last week.
Mm-hmm.
Kicked off last week. And for some reason, LeBron, he knows that the Lazarus pit is an actual thing. And he's keeping that secret with him because this guy looks like he's just getting younger as he's getting older.
Man, like the way that he plays, like he's playing smarter now. He's playing slower. There are times now, like I'll notice, like he's off the ball so much. Sometimes I don't even notice him on the court,
Yeah.
right? And then, when it's takeover time, he's point guard LeBron. And what's sad for me to see is just he does so much for his team. I really wish other guys would step up,
Yeah.
right? Anthony Davis is a guy that, like, we've never seen that Pelicans AD anymore,
No.
right? And
Yeah.
we'll never see it. Like that consistency, like every single game where he's going to give you that effort, like, that A+ effort on offense and defense.
That feels like a decade ago.
Right? It feels like a decade ago, and it's just like he's still young, like young in basketball terms. Like he's still like in his prime, pretty much. And it's sad. Like you have such talented teammate, and you're still carrying him,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know. It hurts to watch sometimes, but you just gotta appreciate everything that he's doing.
Yeah. Like just watching this guy still do the things that he does at his age, like the way that he was just slamming that ball down the other night.
Yeah, see,
Right?
I'm
It's
seeing
like, this guy's still getting up there, man.
Yeah, there's actually a clip out there that they were showing year 1 LeBron doing that same exact dunk, right?
Oh
From
my
the
gosh.
year 20. And it just looks, you look at them side by side, it's like the exact same thing.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
He's an absolute freak. And I think maybe that's why he gets a lot of hate.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you saw Jordan as the years went on, you saw him kind of deteriorating and not be where that guy is.
Yep.
LeBron's been at that level day one.
Yep.
Outside of like the injury seasons where he kind of got set back though,
Mm-hmm.
he, just like you said, he looks like what he looked like in year one.
Yeah. And the thing I like about so far early in the season is last year I felt like he was very ball dominant and he was jacking up a lot of threes. This year he's kind of more, taking it easy, taking the cuts when he needs to, playing off ball when he needs to, controlling everything as the point guard. So that's nice to see because last year just felt like he was trying to do too much. And now it is a struggle to watch them sometimes when, you see AD having an off game and then you see, Austin Reeves, who I think is going to take him a little while to get that.
You kind of see him getting a bit more comfortable in the role that he's in.
Yeah.
AR. So I'm not too worried about him.
That's what I mean. I think he just needs like to get comfortable, even more comfortable in the role that he's in.
Yeah.
And then he'll be good. But
AD's got to step up, man.
Yeah.
Because after that display that he had in the playoffs last year where he got grazed by the elbow and he went and sat on the bench and he was holding his towel over his head. Didn't they bring out a wheelchair for him?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. And then
look, I'm not knocking concussions and head injuries and stuff, but the more and more we saw what happened, the more and more I just started rolling my eyes like, come on, bro, this is the playoffs.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
With him, it's just, with AD, it's always been about consistency. And I think the hope is always there because he can dominate. Any given night, he can dominate. It's just, I wish we saw more consistency from him. I think as a fan, you'd be more confident. Like you see all these great teams, but I feel like no one, even the Suns, like, you know, everyone's hurt. And then the Clippers, everyone's playing right now, but you don't know how long that's going to last. No one believes that it's going to last the entire season, right?
Well, I mean, they got their savior, James Harden now, so.
Yeah, he's supposed to make his debut Monday, I believe. So
Debut
we'll
Monday.
see. But
Sorry, if you're Westbrook right now, what's going through your head?
It's funny because the other night, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So he just he had I don't know, like 25, 27 or something. And I'm like, he's got to get all the touches now before Harden comes in. Yeah. But
didn't they beef for a while after Harden left OKC to go to Houston?
I feel like
just making that up?
On the court it felt like that, but no, they're always like pretty cool.
Okay, so
like
I just made that up.
went
all right.
Team to team, but even now they're cool. But it's funny because they showed a clip yesterday of Harden coming into the locker room and no one cared. Like Westbrook got up and, you know, went to him, greeted him, but there's no excitement. And maybe maybe he met the team before that, but it's just how that clip looked. I'm just like, I don't know.
Harden has damaged his brand, I personally think, beyond repair at the moment, because he knew that nobody's going to give him $40 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he opted in, demands a trade because he's going to get his money regardless.
Yep.
Right? But now, when he becomes a free agent and people are going to look at him, they'll be like, do we really want to deal with this?
Yeah.
And he's going to want $40 million.
Yeah. I feel like only if you're a team that is not contending at all and have no superstars, I think that's the only way you sign him, just to try to get people. But he's got to somehow salvage some sort of image playing this year.
Yeah.
But
because if he does nothing this year,
it's too fresh.
Yeah.
What he's done,
it's too fresh. And if this guy does nothing this year, and if he's looking out of shape and he's not doing anything, I'm sorry, man, but you're done. Like, your career's over.
It hurts to see because I've been one of the biggest Harden fans, right? Like, I was on him winning, like, the MVPs that he lost. I thought, like, he should have won, especially, the triple-double year.
Yeah.
With Westbrook.
Yeah.
I think Harden deserved it over Westbrook. Right?
Yeah. Harden was doing, that was Houston Harden, right?
Yeah, that was Houston Harden.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then everyone, even when he was having his playoff ups and downs, I was still saying, you know what? Let him consistently be there. Like, we'll see something. And then it's just, it never panned out. And then the more and more that he's done things like lash out and be like, I want to trade, right? It's been like, 2 years and he's been on 4 teams?
5.
5? Okay.
Is it 5? I think it was something like five teams since like 2020 or something.
Yeah. So it's like his attitude towards basketball and towards his team and teammates. I just feel like it's sad to see.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've been rooting for him for so long, and it's just like, he's been letting everyone down.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, this guy's brand is so damaged right now that no one's going to believe him. Like, even if he says, I mean, every athlete says, I'm happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And you never really give it much thought. But now you're really not going to care when this guy says, I'm happy to be here.
Everywhere he's gone where he's wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it hasn't worked. So he's found something wrong with it. So,
yeah.
I
mean, you might find a strip club he likes in like Portland and be like, yo, trade me to Portland. Yeah.
I feel like the criticism for Harden is well deserved. Usually I don't say that. Usually I say I'm usually on the athlete side and say there's too much criticism. But for Harden's, in this case, I feel like with all the, the playoff troubles, like his ups and downs, mostly downs, I think it's fair because we've seen a large enough sample size.
Fair enough. All right. Before we wrap it up, let's just talk about the NFL for a second. Brock Purdy. Is this guy's Linsanity run finally over?
I think he has a chance to salvage it. Right? So he's their guy for the rest of the season, pretty much.
Yeah.
So if it continues on a downward spiral and, a couple more weeks, then it's done.
Yeah.
Then for sure they'll want to make a change. I don't know if they'll make it this year. I don't hear any Trey Lance talks, right? So
Yeah. There was a crazy stat that I saw.
Trey Lance is not even with them. I mean,
he's the last now.
Who's their backup now?
I don't even know, man. I honestly don't know.
So you know what? Purdy is there to stay until the end of the season. There's no one to go to. I think he deserves to, he deserves that shot. They don't really have anything better going for them.
Yeah.
And they do have a super team, so you're not asking too much from him.
Yeah. What's their coach's name? Shanahan? No.
Yes.
Yeah, Shanahan. There was a stat about him where in the last 16 or 17 games that he's coached where he didn't have the lead going into the fourth, he's lost.
Wow. Well,
yeah,
I've said it. Nuts. I've been saying this for a long time. I don't think he's the right coach for that team. He's always had just great talent. Like, what has he done? Like, we've known him as a great play caller, but I don't see anything unique that he's doing, right? Running McCaffrey isn't unique.
Yeah.
Right? Do we see anything special on that offense? I don't think so. I just think the talent, it's
bails
so
him
good.
out.
Yeah. Right? So.
Yeah, I mean, when you got Bosa commanding that defense.
And that defense, yeah.
Right?
So
yeah.
I think he is getting a lot of credit for what the team's doing, right? I don't think he contributes a lot. I don't think he's the right guy there. And then I feel like they've never had a quarterback either, right?
Yeah.
Garoppolo wasn't the guy. Purdy's a guy, but,
Even that one Super Bowl that they made it with Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
They did get screwed in that one, though.
Yeah, no. Cap was... that was their last high point.
That was it, yeah.
And then...
That feels like it was 15 years ago.
And then Garoppolo missing that throw that would have beat KC, right? It's just... Maybe it's just bad luck, but he's had a lot of bad luck, right? Brady coming back on him, so...
Yeah. And even, with what's happening in Vegas now, because you see Devontae Adams super frustrated on the sideline, just screaming at himself that he's sick of it, whatever. And now coach is gone, GM's gone.
That was McDaniels he just got lucky. I think he's one of those guys that coached a great quarterback, had, the GOAT, and then got a coaching job. Everywhere he's gone, he's been, he's lost. Yeah. So I don't think he deserves any more head coaching chances.
What McDaniels is I'm going to throw another wrestling reference out there and I'll give context after. But McDaniels by himself is Vince Russo without Vince McMahon.
Okay.
So Vince Russo was a writer for WWE during the Attitude Era, right? And we all remember how fun the Attitude Era was. But he had Vince over his shoulder and he had the final say on everything, right? McDaniels was a genius in New England, but he had Belichick.
Yep.
Right? Now you take Belichick out the picture, you're expected to be that same McDaniels. You get exposed like Vince Russo got exposed when he went to WCW. Like, this guy's a hack. He has no idea what he's doing.
Yep.
Right? So, Josh, come back home. Come back to New England.
He's there. 100% next year, he's there.
Just be a coordinator, accept your role, build a team, start winning Super Bowls again.
Yeah, no, he's going to be there for sure. Yeah. I have nothing to say on the Patriots because I don't think Mac Jones is the right guy. But at the same time, they just don't have the talent. Like they don't have the receivers. And
Hey man,
you know,
the last 2 games have been pretty good for the Pats.
you're gonna see those moments throughout like an entire season,
Right. I mean,
but
we beat the Bills and we were competitive against Miami for about 12 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah, that was great.
yeah. But the one thing I wanted to touch up on was the KC Miami matchup, battle of the AFC.
Yeah,
So I do not like the fact that that's a 9:30 game. It's in Germany, but that deserves to be like a primetime game.
I agree, but from the business side of it, you needed to give
Yeah, you got
Germany a heavyweight match, though.
You do, but see, that's one of the points I thought of. So I was trying to weigh it, right? I'm like, okay, you deserve, like the fans deserve to see 2 like powerhouse teams. You want to see a good matchup, but I've never seen like one of those, it's a different time zone. You're going into a different like country. It's like, I feel like the quality of the game isn't as good.
Right.
Right. So like the Buffalo, Jags game, I feel like the quality of that game was just so, right? I feel like the primetime spots in, just in your own country, right? In their own country, I think is better.
I think what the league could look into to kind of circumvent this is if you're going to do games in Europe, like they're looking to do games in Spain now,
Mhm.
right? Why don't you look into doing the game locally there prime time, right?
Mhm.
And then we get the game here like around noon, 1:00,
Yeah.
right? Because then that just feels like a regularly time scheduled game,
That'd be much better.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm not, like I hear a lot of people say like the travel affects it too. But
Mhm.
man, if you're traveling from New York to LA, that's a 6-hour flight anyway. It's 7 hours to London.
Yep.
So I don't buy the whole travel thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if they want to look into, let's just start the games later there so we can get more eyes on it here.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because there'll be Sundays where I forget there's games in London,
Mm-hmm.
and I fire up the score app and it's already like halftime. I'm like, what the hell's going on here,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It's
Like,
yeah, but that's a matchup you have to tune into, right? That's one of the 2 best matchups of the weekend,
yeah.
and then the other one is Dallas and Philadelphia. And
Dallas Philly is always fun.
the funny thing is, if Dallas wins this Sunday, then I can see them in first place in maybe 2 weeks.
Ooh, okay.
Because Philadelphia is going to be facing Buffalo, KC. They're going to be facing all the powerhouse teams the next 4 weeks.
I was looking at their schedule. It's a rough one. It's Mad Max.
I had it here. Let
Yeah.
me.
We're getting into that part of the season now where it's go time now. You can't lose anymore.
Yeah.
You gotta win. Every game means so much more than what it did a couple weeks ago.
So they're facing the Cowboys this week, the Chiefs next week, the Bills the week after, San Fran the week after that,
Oh my goodness.
and then back to the Cowboys. So they
So
have
Dallas,
5 weeks.
Dallas, KC, Buffalo, San Fran, Dallas.
Yep.
Good luck, man.
And then they're home this Sunday. And if they lose that, they're going to be on the road the next game in Dallas. So,
I do not want to be an Eagles fan right now.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like Miami. So this is a big game for them, I feel, because they face Buffalo, who blew them out. Now, if KC blows them out somehow as well, it's going to be every team that's below, that's not a playoff team or have a losing record. That's who Miami beats up on, right?
Yeah.
And then anyone that has a winning record, they've been getting destroyed. So this is a big game for them as well.
All right. It's we're getting into the nitty gritty of NFL. Everything's going on. NBA has gotten off to a start. NHL started. World Series just wrapped up. Rangers won their first World Series. Great, congratulations, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, that went under the radar, and I tuned in yesterday just to watch the end. I was even watching the celebration, and they did not seem too excited.
That's a problem.
Yeah, like you see guys jumping up, but I feel like a championship celebration, like, you know, you see guys going crazy, like just jumping out of their shoes, right?
Especially if you just won the first World Series in franchise history.
Yeah.
It's their first one.
It just didn't seem like they won the World Series. It just seemed like they won maybe a divisional round. I'm
not going to lie, man. Like, there hasn't been a vibe to the World Series in a couple of years now. I completely forgot the game was even on yesterday.
Yeah, same here. I tuned in near the end.
Yeah, well, I was flipping channels and I saw 0-0 going into the 7th. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Let's see where this goes. And then it just falls apart. And being Blue Jays fan, seeing the Rangers win just like makes me sick. I want to vomit. Yeah, whatever. But again, from the AL, it was a lesser of two evils. It was them or the Astros.
Yeah.
Which sucked either way.
True.
Anyway, guys, we're back. Belligerent season. It's getting cold out. So we're probably going to be staying inside a bit more.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Golf's over.
Simulators.
Oh, simulators. Yes.
Maybe we post some of that.
And shout outs to Golf Singh. Had my lesson yesterday with him. That was great. Won that. If you guys watch the highlights from the frequency tournament, won the free lessons there. That was cool.
That was the best prize.
What do we have coming up? I think we're going to be heading out to Sports Card Expo. Are you going to be joining, or is it just going to be me and Champ?
Did I ask for a ticket? I don't know. I got to check my...
Anyway, Belligerent Brown Boys.
I want to be there.
Yeah, Belligerent Brown Boys will be at the Sports Card Expo. This is Canada's biggest.
Is that in 2 weeks?
Next week.
It's next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remembrance Day weekend. Canada's biggest sports card expo. So we're going to be there. That's going to be fun. And then, guys, just keep it locked on the channel, man. We're going to be pumping out some content. You know, we got more and more reels coming out on Instagram. You know, get some clips from our episodes. Hop onto YouTube, subscribe, like, share. That's the only way you're going to know when we got stuff coming out, man. So that's going to be the winter. It's cold, and we're going to talk more.
Definitely.
Yeah. Belligerent Brown Boys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.